Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's stream. Thank everybody who decided to tune in. Let me get the usual stuff set up. Music on. Got balance around negative 35 decibels. Turn on the webcam. There's me. Let's get the... update the goal. Today's goal. Mini boss level. Not a mini boss level, a mini boss level. The emphasis is important. How is everybody doing tonight? Let's see how chat is doing. Not like it's afternoon at the earliest. Okay, Beanard, you're out of your mind if you think that 6 p.m. is not evening. This is absolute. 6 is when the evening starts. Hey there, Newbert. How's it going, Logan Gamers, Thomas Valdez, Eraser Paste Blue, the number 100, Skep Choice, Lampshade. Everybody is doing well. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing tonight. Let's just go to the hub map first, so we can get a little bit of a sense of what's going on tonight. Yeah, let's go to the hub. So there's been a couple of small changes that I've been working on. One is that I slightly reanimated some of the hand animations. They're like a lot more wobbly and goopy and more bouncy. Gives them a lot more of an impact. I especially like the change made to the Dragon Killer Punch. That one just feels like the little kickback it has at the top of it. Makes it feel a little bit more punchy, and the angle goes out a little bit more, so it kind of helps sell the feeling a little bit. But that's not what you guys are here to see. What you're here to see is this mini-boss and the new level that I'm working on around him. Let's start by going over the enemy first, to get a bit of an idea about what they do. This is the Conductor. So what they'll do is they spawn these in, wherever you're looking. So the idea is that if you're walking forwards, you could stop and then walk into it. And then it would hurt you. Now, the texture is not permanent. This is just the Sheila shield texture, just as a placeholder until I make the final one. But what's interesting about these things is that if you step on them, a train will come out from the floor, boost you into the air, and make you take damage. And something interesting about that is that this does work on enemies. So if you're looking at enemies, you can use it you can use that for your own advantage, basically. And something else that I've added to help complement this system is these things. Oh, okay, well, let's reset so we can test it out. This is also not a final graphic. It's just the juice icon, but darker. But if I pick that up, you'll notice that my brain bar has a little bit of blue around it, and that will prevent us from taking damage for one hit. And that exists mostly so that you can use these to your advantage without dying in unreasonable. You can use these just to boost all you want. It'll give you a little bit of flexibility. And it'll also help make some of the earlier stages potentially just a little bit easier. So let's go to the level, so we can get a little bit about what I've been thinking. Let's do play start. So here's something right here. It'll just show the player how the mechanic works by pushing them up if they try to run into it. I'll probably have a shield next to it too, just so they can see it in a safe environment. So you start out here with the boss launching away on a surfboard, and they're at a range where they can constantly see you from just across most of the entire screen. The range does the vision bugs out a little bit at certain ranges, so that's something I'm going to need to probably recode entirely, so that way it doesn't use the janky Unreal Pawn sensing. But it's going to be this long boardwalk all the way to the end with a bunch of obstacles and little mini challenges on them. So this is a little sand castle, and in this corner, after you clear out all the enemies, you can jump down and walk around the slow way, or you could get boosted by a train, launch yourself across, cut out a good chunk. I'm thinking maybe you could boost off of one of those, fly through the air, land on a surfboard, and then do an ocean bounce or something. I think it'd be really cool. Healthy circadian rhythm looking. Yeah. It's nice. I like sleeping and waking at reasonable hours. Alright, so that's what we're doing. conductor's hype. Thank you. I think it'll be a really fun mechanic. Somebody that like will bait you with their attacks is very different from anything else in the game so far, and being able to use it for your advantage, but also it being something that can trip you up, I think something that can do both and is very like flexible to how the player interacts with it, I think will make it a really, really fun obstacle. Okay, so we've got our first little section here. This doesn't have to be anything too complicated. I was just thinking that we could grab some enemies here. Maybe chuck a Gunther back here in the corner, give him a little bit of the element of surprise. Or better yet, I think we'll put a Gunther here on the stairs, and then we'll put a bouncer. We'll put a bouncer right there. So my first thought is to use the train obstacle a little more prominently. So those are going to be able to be placed into the level and not just spawned by the train guy, by the conductor. She's not the only source of trains. That's the idea. So let's grab a... where'd I put it? Oh, right. I put it in the projectiles folder, because it is technically a projectile. So, I didn't seem to spawn correctly. What did I put up here? Oh, okay, right. Because the train part isn't visible until it hits. Because otherwise you could see the train clipping in and out of stuff and it would look kind of janky. This will work better. Yeah. So let's put it right here by the staircase. Kind of a tricky spot for it, I think. Or, actually, I think I've got a slightly better idea. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this wall here and extend it out a little bit, and then embed the train back into this section. Yeah, something like that. And then we can grab this guy. The rotation of 90. It's not the right 90. Never remember what the right axis is. There we go. Oh, green. There you go. So we'll have it sort of in this divot in the wall, so you'll be able to see it and generally avoid it, but it'll make dealing with the bouncer a bit more scary, because you gotta avoid his projectiles while the bouncer's pushing at you with this thing right here, serving as a constant threat. And I don't think I've said this anywhere before, but I'm thinking that I want to start balancing some of the game decisions around as if you were playing on unreasonable difficulty. Generally, I think that'll just feel fun. Even if you have a lot of health to tank hits, just getting hit randomly doesn't feel very fun, so I'm going to make sure that every single hit feels potentially avoidable and fair. And I think designing it as if the player only has 1 health will just make the game a lot more fun. Alright, let's go ahead and set that to current camera location. Bonk. Okay, let's give it a little bit of rotation on this axis so it comes out the right way. Set you to 90. There we go. Are you stuck? You stuck, friend? Oh, I don't have a nav mesh down, do I? No, I don't think I do. I don't believe I do. Let's go to nav mesh bounds volume. Oh yeah, that was the issue. Any concern about a Hat in Time lawsuit? They famously invented the idea of train conductors. That is a fair point. Oh yeah, the stream starting soon graphic is all. I always forget about it. Not always, but it's been like at least 3 times. You'd think I'd remember by this point. Got a clean PNG to spot on the tier list. I'll do that after the stream. I'll put that in just like the general chat. Conductor, we have a problem. Okay. But yeah, Hat in Time. I think we might be good, maybe. Depends on how they're feeling that day, though. Okay, we can go ahead and pull the nav mesh a little bit closer this way. Actually, we can go in the center. Go. And I'm pretty sure that nav meshes don't consume any resources if there's no geometry on it, so basically making this thing as huge as possible shouldn't really be an issue. But I do have a video that I was planning on watching a bit later about some extra optimization tips for Unreal games, so that'll be good to keep in mind. Well, How did you... Oh, they saw me through there. I was jump scared by that train just killing Bouncer out of nowhere. Here, I'll go up here so we can do that. Ew, son of a bitch. Bonk. Okay, feels like a pretty decent little first floor. Small introduction to the mechanic in a unique way. Do I have anything else on the top? I think maybe I'll keep the top fairly simple, because we can add more later. But I think for now, just figuring out what each one should be is simple. And this one, I think it doesn't need to be much more than just introducing the mechanic in a helpful way. Let's go to interactable. Should be level stuff. EP. Oh, shield pickup. Yeah, there we go. I think I'm going to draw the sprite for this is going to be like a little football helmet or something. Not that I, play football, but feels like it's a fitting visual. One thing about this thing, I'm thinking that maybe the conductor, like, whenever she's about to spawn a train in front of you, you'll get like a brief warning on screen, kind of like Brainbuster, where you get like a little heads up. Because I think the idea of an enemy that like baits you into getting hit by something is fun. But it'll need either... maybe I'll try a prominent sound cue first and see how that feels. And if that works out well, then we'll be good to go. But if not, then I can have like a more obvious visual indicator. But I think probably a sound cue would probably be fun. So I'm trying to think, how do you get the most speed from this? Because I haven't done a whole lot of testing. I'm thinking maybe I'll want to... Oh. You... I might want to code it, actually, so that these will give you, like, an inverse speed. Like, the amount of speed you go into them with is the speed it'll shoot you out with. Something like that. I'm sort of debating between that or a more fixed angle, because a more fixed angle would feel a little bit more consistent and balanced. Whereas you could get more wild and crazy stuff with... You get the fuck out of here. Go. Goodbye. Leave. Ah. I might have made this character too powerful. Okay, well that was on me. That was... I'm a fool. Okay. So... I don't think how we get the most speed at this. What happened to that time? Weird. So if we boost into it, then it's not really any different. So it takes us to around here-ish. So I'm trying to think how we make it worthwhile to take this skip, because otherwise you don't really need to go up to the roof here. You can just, go in here, take care of this little gang. I might actually switch their positions there. I feel like it might work a little better if... Now, see, if Gunther's out of sight, that might be more annoying, like, he cheap shots you from the side, whereas with Bouncer, it's a little bit more acceptable if he hits you with a sneaky hit. Maybe I'll push him slightly further up the stairs, just so you can see, like, his toes sticking out before he starts running at you. See if that feels a little bit better. Oh. Okay, yeah, I think that works. By the time you get in there and see him, you turn your head and naturally should see Bouncer, so you're aware of both threats at the same time. I think that'll work pretty well. Better was you just boosting her like that. Okay, so it'll take us right around here. So next part of the stage, I'm thinking I'll have some sort of enemies or obstacles along this path. But we'll see. So let's pull it around here-ish. Come around there. And we'll just make a simple little 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And we can extend that by 1 on each side, actually, make it a clean 5x5. So if we jump on here... Ooh, look at that. That is beautiful. That just lines up like a dream. Okay. Let's launch you just to make sure it doesn't interfere. Oh, no, it's good. It's good. Okay, it doesn't collide with it. We're in the clear. So here's what I was thinking would be a really fun way to use this mechanic. If we go to the interactable level stuff and grab a surfboard, and then give you a 90 axis, 90. That's also the wrong axis. 90. There we go. and give you, say, an X launch, 3,000 should be good. No, Y launch, Y launch. Yeah, there we go. And, see if that works out. Oh, got to color in the surfboard. Okay, that's pretty fun, though. Well, you're ruining all my fun as usual. I think for now I'm gonna have to tuck you a little further away. Just so we can get the core layout first and see if we can figure it out from there. Seth gearing up for football. Sweet, what a guest. Tell Josh you're a big Jerry Judy fan. He'll be so proud. Okay, I'll have to break that one out when we're playing Streets. He's not gonna expect it. Okay, that's pretty fun. That's pretty cool. Only issue is that it does kind of take you straight to the end of the level. So how about instead of doing that, we rotate it like this. I've only ever put these on straight like axes, so there might be some issues here. Let's just give it a launch of 3K and 3K. That's the wrong direction. But if we get a negative 3K on the Y, that's going to send us backwards. Yeah. 3K, negative 3K on the X. Yeah, okay, that works fine. I don't know why I was concerned about that working. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a color so it's not just dark all the time. Let's give it like a light reddish. Yeah, that's kind of a pinkish because it's just tinting a blue. Okay, yeah, I think that works pretty well. Let's give it a bit more of a substantial Z launch. So that's the initial speed that it gets when it goes up into the air. Okay, maybe that's a little much. But I'm thinking what you do is you jump off of this, land onto this, and then there's going to be like another building right here, maybe like a surf shop, one of those, and then you would land on like the roof of that, so you could get a little shortcut. That could be an interesting structure to the level. It gives you a good reason to take this cut, and I think it'll just feel pretty fun. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, before we worry about that, let's go ahead and get that building in. So let's extend this out quite a ways. And maybe track it down a little bit. I don't know if it needs to be that big. Then we're gonna grab all this. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should be okay. And then we're going to hollow the inside back out. And let's put like a big, wide awning sort of thing right there. You know, yeah, let's make this whole thing like an awning. So it feels a little bit more open. You get to see what's coming a little more clearly. I think generally I've been leaning more towards less enclosed stuff, and when I use enclosed areas, I kind of want to use them a little bit more thoughtfully than like something like 3 buildings, which is just kind of cramped. Like the train sections of these levels are a lot smaller than anything else that's been present so far, but they're a lot more focused and use the limited space as more of an interesting obstacle than some of the previous stuff had been. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear out a section of the roof here. Yeah, that'll do. Then boom, boom. Then we can grab a slope, extrapolate that out like so. Nice long run up. Okay, then it's oh. I am somehow misaligned from the grid. No, everything should be fine. Yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. Put that right there. Extend that out a little bit. Okay, that works nicely. Finally made a stream. It's been so long. During school. Fair. Hey, actually, by the way, how's it going, Long Patrol? I was playing TF2 with a friend of mine yesterday. Yesterday? I think it was yesterday? Yeah, it's yesterday. And encountered Long Patrol in a game. That was pretty cool. What mini-boss are you making? Well, I'm making the Conductor. You get to see a little bit more of them in action as we go further on, but the gist is that they spawn these projectiles in front of you, and if you run into them, it'll hit you with a train that'll bounce you up and make you take damage. So the idea is that they're very predictive, so if you try to run at them like full force without thinking, then... Okay, well, bad example. If you try to run forward at them without thinking, then you'll run straight into the trains, so you gotta be very careful about when and where you're moving. Or you can, did they get... Where'd they go? Oh, there they are! Okay, so note to self, be very careful with ceilings, or else this is something that could happen. Okay, you know, good to know. Very good to know indeed. Okay, as we were... So you can boost off of this, land on the surfboard, and then probably jump off, bail, get up onto the roof early. Maybe have more of the enemies up on the roof so you have more reasons to go for that skip. I don't know if it's been apparent, but I'm trying harder to have very deliberate, more obvious skips, which I think will make learning the routes a little bit more fun. And I also want to have stuff that seems a little less obvious, so that way people can use it for their own sort of routing. You know, even if it's like not an obvious skip, as long as it's still like an option. So I'm trying to hit that sweet spot of both like approachable and also like difficult. Hit both of those niches instead of kind of just being difficult, which is where we've been for a while. Okay, so this one I'm thinking is going to be a little bit trickier. So you go up here, and then if you do the skip, then you're going to be fighting this brain buster right away. These are probably a lot taller than it needs to be. And then I'm thinking that we could also use an interesting bat and ball combo here. Say we got bat right here. Let's put him in this corner. Then we can have a ball who's like hanging out up here, and then a ball who's hanging out over here. Then let's set up the partners correctly, so that way each one is partnered to each one. And a lot of this is certainly not particularly refined yet. A lot of it is just putting stuff down, trying out different ideas, seeing what feels fun to do. You know, the gist. Where did you throw that? Is there a bug? No, that wasn't a bug. I guess they just threw it to the wrong spot. This happens sometimes. I did notice things were slightly misaligned. I think if I set everything to 0, 0... Nope, that's not it. Okay, I guess I'm probably just imagining. No, everything is slightly misaligned. I think I just moved it a little bit when I didn't mean to. Just realign these objects so that they're back to where they should be. Nope. Okay, looking good. So we bounce up, land on the board, boost ourselves on up, and then this is quite a pickle to be finding yourself in. Especially since you're going to be in full sight of the conductor all the way over there, so you have to be pretty careful. See ya. He does die, that. Okay, yep, definitely dead. Okay, now the question is if I want to put something down here, because I'm thinking that it'll probably be more fun if you don't have to go down there, so you could land up here, and then maybe boost over to like another section here. That's what I'm thinking. I've got a few sort of concepts, because I like the idea that this is like a 3-tiered sort of sprint to the finish. So you've got these 3 different sections, you got this little sandcastle, you got the surf shop, and then I'm thinking something to do with the trains, because the trains are the other like major theme. Seems like a very linear map, kind of like the shift between linear or something like 3 buildings, and you prefer non-linear. That's been a very interesting thing to sort of see as development has gone along. Some people really prefer shorter stages, some people really prefer linear stages, and some people really prefer non-linear stages. So I definitely find that getting a variety is going to be the best. So that way every player feels like they've got certain types of levels that they enjoy playing more. Just as long as every level feels adequately represented, and even the ones that aren't, you know, even the ones that are like linear, non-linear, XYZ still feel fun and varied. And that's what we're going for. Okay. Let's get another train in here. Rotate you like so. Yeah, might as well just do that first, because then I can see what angles it should be. 0, and that is 90. There we go. And we can put this fella right here. Right there on the wall. And it'll give us a nice propulsive launch. Say 2,500 on the launch value, so that way it'll give us a nice amount of boost. You can see the train just despawning there. Boom. Maybe a little less, maybe actually a little less up. Keep around 1,500 up, and let's say 2,000 Y. That's 2,000 X. Yeah. Okay, that works. Not quite enough speed, though. Let's give it a little more oomph. I didn't read chat for a bit. Usually asleep? Hi, welcome, Anstar. You plan on making the bouncer plush? Well, I'm thinking maybe first I'll do, like, a poll to see if there's enough interest. Because you have to, like, reach a certain amount of sales before you could do something like that. And I do want to do that, I just don't know if there's enough audience interest for that sort of thing. So, you know, first thing I think I would do is, like, a poll where it's like, hey, would you pay, like, $30? Because I think that's usually what makeshift plushes cost. So I would just have to, like, make sure that there's actually community interest first. Something like t-shirts would be a little easier to start with, just because those are a lot easier to make profits off of and succeed with smaller numbers, which is where I'm at right now. But yeah, I'd like to do that at some point. Playing Tube 2 right now. Nice. Never looked how you got me twice. Yeah, you were playing Spy though, I don't feel bad. Feel better for B, all that nor to piss. Are there any ball guys on their own in game right now? There's no bat nor ball on their own. They're together. Will this be the final level of the world? Yes. Are trains part of the surf theme, like how the first section is windmills and casinos? Yes. This is Tropical Train Yard. You know, previous was Windmillionaire Casino. This is Tropical Train Yard. The idea of each of the four main areas is that they are all fusions of two different themes, and a big part of the reason I did that was to give each area a little bit more variety and flavor to it. And I think even on its own, the Windmillionaire Casino, like, a windmill theme isn't super common, and it's got a very, like, weird color palette, so it feels a bit more unique than, like, a standard grass, like, you know, green Mario or Sonic stock grass area. But by giving them the multiple themes, then they tend to, you know, they have that little extra X factor, something to really make them stand out from the other similar stages. So yes. And that does remind me, I'm thinking that the last big section of the stage is going to be very train. Personally, I'd buy a shirt over a plush, if anything. Kind of bought marked ever. Yeah, that makes sense. I think generally a t-shirt is a lot easier of a purchase to justify than like a plush. And I've considered buying plushes from stuff, but it's way easier to like be like, yeah, I'll get a shirt because that's something that's like practical, you know. And I'm working on those. No promises when something like that's gonna be ready, because I want to make sure they're good. You know, as much as I do want to raise some funds to pay my composer well, I also want to make sure that the shirts that I'm pushing out are good. Make sure I got a good provider too. Don't want to, like, I was thinking Teespring at first, but they have a 2.7 on Trustpilot, so probably not. Boo. I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking. So, did that just not give me any height? I have like no height for that. Maybe I'm just imagining things, or maybe it was I did right after here. Oh no, it's because I still have my jump because I didn't spend it because I spawned in midair. Yeah. If you spawn in midair, you get some weird jack like that. That's not a problem. That's just an issue to how I've got things set up right now. Anyways, so here's what I'm thinking. I think I want to have a little train section right here, sort of tie all the pieces of the world theme together. So what we're gonna do is grab another surfboard right there. Can probably keep most of the defaults in place, but I'm thinking we're gonna go down for the train section, like it'll be a bit lower than everything else is. Are the mini levels still happening? They are still happening, but they are purely gonna be combat arenas. I was thinking about doing a mini platforming challenge and a mini combat challenge, but I found that the platforming without enemies felt a little hollow, just because the mechanics are so specifically designed around combat as the first and foremost, that without them it felt without having enemies, it just felt not quite as fun. So those are definitely going to be a thing. I'm going to make one for each world, so I'm going to go back and add one for Windmillionaire Casino at some point. Probably want to give that whole world a bit of a revamp, because I want to update a lot of those. Any thoughts on the new cursor design, or is this one settled? I quite like this one. I'm not against making changes, but I think it's in a pretty good spot. It's, I'd say, the best cursor thus far. It's more communicative than some of the previous ones, and the first design of this kind of cursor had some issues of not being super clear all the time, but this one is a lot better with the red. Like, you have the color to indicate if you're highlighting something that you can shoot at. The little pulse is nice. It more clearly reads what your finger pose is with the symbols, and you get the bar. So this one, the functionality and the look of it, I think it's pretty successful right now. And hopefully I think it'll help with a lot of issues that some people have, especially players who are starting out. But I'm not against making changes, but I think that this direction is something that I'm pretty confident in. Let's give you kind of a small... What if I give it one Z launch? Is it going to go anywhere? Oof. Oh, no, it goes somewhere. It works. I think... Give you a death plane bounce of 1400. I've got a bit of an odd idea for this. I want to see if it works, though. Wait. No. No, the multiple launching surfboard bug is here still. I thought I fixed that. So I accidentally made a bug when I was working on the checkpoints, because obviously if you have a checkpoint, everything needs to be reset. So that obviously includes the surfboards, which this one launches when you hit a trigger box. So what I do is, on spawning, it enters every single surfboard into an array, and then it saves their location and their rotation, and then it resets them to that position whenever you die. So that way the surfboards always work, and each one also has a function inside of it that will make it so that each surfboard only works once. You can't relaunch the same one over and over and over and over. So what happens is I have a system that will reset their once variables, so that way they can be relaunched. And somehow by doing that, I've made it so that they are constantly resetting themselves to be launchable over and over and over, so they're constantly getting launched. Now, I thought I fixed this because of this. Yeah, if landed position. So it's only when it lands, it's supposed to set a landed position. And then once it's... Now this is going to be really complicated now. We'll do that. I will do that on my own time. That is going to be its whole own bag of worms. Now, I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why it's launching twice. Maybe it's because like it's clipping on the edge, and then it's like hitting that, and then unhitting and re-hitting or something. Something stupid. But for now, we can test it how it's supposed to be without that. Try launch speed of 1,000. Nope, that's okay. Push it a little closer to the edge, so maybe it has a little bit of an easier time getting off the ledge there. Okay, that works pretty well. So let me get my devlog script, because for some reason in there I've written out the dimensions for the trains. 1257. Okay. So here's the idea. I think this is pretty cool. Very, very fun concept. And I'm curious to see if I can get it working and if it'll be fun. Because on paper, I think this is gonna be sweet. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over here. And let's build how about just a 1x1 for now. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Let's... Whoop, that's not right. There we go. Drag you on down. Okay. So let's go on like that. So you bounce down and then bounce back up. And here's a bit about what I'm thinking. So what if we cross this out? Because I want to use the trains on the surfboard together. So you bounce down, and then you jump off of the surfboard right around there. Let's keep lowering that. Raising it so that way the surfboard doesn't collide with it and keeps skimming on past. But what I want to do is have it so that way you'll jump off the surfboard right here. Okay, that works. So you'll jump off of the surfboard, and then one of the train ones will boost you upwards and diagonally into another wall, which will boost you upwards into another one, which will boost you upwards into another one, up and up and up and up towards the top, like, final part of the stage. That's what I'm thinking, and I think that'll be really cool. And I want to see if it's cool or if it's fun. The tropical train yards version of the distant buildings have super tall palm trees. I like that idea. I think that's a good concept. I've been thinking about what stuff I wanted to put in the background, and I feel like stuff like that might be a better approach too, to help sort of reduce the overall poly counts. Not that they're particularly high anymore. Fun fact about QGrid, get back to it soon. But a lot of the poly counts for these models is a lot higher than they really need to be, just because the way that the mesh does it. So like you'll end up with a map that's very simple like this, but it'll be like 100,000 polygons or 100,000 tries, which is way more than necessary. But Unreal has this really, really handy system where you can set custom LODs, level of details. So essentially, not to get too far into technical details, but I can have the exact same model, and without having to do anything complicated, I can immediately lower the rendered try count and vertices count by like 90%, 95%, which is very, very handy. I like that Unreal does that quite a bit. Surfboards should stick in the walls they hit to make cool map possibilities. Maybe. That's not a bad idea. Could be kind of fun as like a thing where they stick in. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Kind of cool. Break down the difference between fun and cool for us uneducated folks. So, Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is an absurdly cool game. It's got like really cool fights, and the music's great, and a lot of the monsters just look cool. The atmosphere is really great. That's a really cool game. But like, playing Shadow of the Colossus, I mean, it's not unfun, but sometimes it does kind of stink a little bit. That's what I would say the difference is. Sometimes you'll get a fight that's like really cool looking, but it's really obnoxious and you keep falling off over and over because of the janky controls or something that's not that well communicated. That is cool, but not necessarily fun. That's my distinction. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now we've got ourselves a nice train car. I've got a bit of a bold idea, a bit of a bold concept. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but let's give it a try. So first thing is first. Let's find a decent distance in between these two. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I imagine I'm going to bonk my head on this. Ugh. No, that works. That works pretty well, actually. Okay. So, here's where things are going to get interesting. Let's make the second train body first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go ahead and make that 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, there we go. So let's give this a shot. Let's grab the... let's grab some trains. Let's rotate you correctly. I believe I'll need to rotate it like that. See if that's good. Nope, that's the wrong axis. There we are. Set you to 90, negative 90, negative. Alright. Oh, that's misaligned. And much lower than it probably should be. Whoops. Or much higher than it probably should be. Let's bring you down a little closer to here, just so the player can comfortably, naturally jump into it if they want to. Yeah. And then you hit this one, and then you'll bounce your way up. That's what I'm thinking. I think we're gonna want to give you a little bit of an X launch, say maybe 500, something subtle to it. Nothing too crazy. So let's see. Simple 0, 90. Damn, I just naturally stopped them on 180. What are the odds of that? That's clean. Go. Cool as Dark Souls, fun as Devil May Cry. I actually agree with that quite a bit, yeah. I like Dark Souls, but I can't... I don't know, I don't have that much fun playing Dark Souls. Oh, what was that? That was janky. Yeah. Oh, I think it's pulling me into the wall. I think that's the wrong... Yeah, that's probably what it is. I think it's just giving me the wrong velocity. Yeah. We're good. Yep, well, whipped it. I think that'll be pretty fun. We are going to need to put some more shield power-ups just to make sure that the player doesn't instantly die. I can agree with that. Shut the Colossus max that it's cool like I did my basketball shit. And nothing left for rebounding and defense. Yeah. There's only one train conductor. Does he just magically control the trains? Well, what she does is you start the level out. She's on the surfboard. And then you walk your way up here. And then you enter a trigger box, and then the surfboard launches away all the way over here. So the idea is that they can see you from just about anywhere as long as they've got a sight line. And as long as they do have a sight line, then they can start spawning trains in front of you. So there's going to be the naturally spawned trains, the ones that the boss yourself summons, and then there's going to be ones like this that are just sort of everywhere that give the illusion that they're being spawned in by the boss, even though realistically they're just, you know, they're there as obstacles. And I think this sort of approach is how I want to do boss fights, or things like boss fights. Surfboard got launched. I was trying to check to see if there was anything interfering with it. What was I saying? Yeah, but a boss like this that is more of an objective to reach rather than like an objective and a persistent threat rather than like a boss where you have to like circle strafe him for a few minutes. And don't get me wrong, I like my good circle strafing bosses. They can be pretty fun. Like Ultra Kill, I think, is a good example of that sort of thing being done pretty well. But personally, for this game, for what it's going for, I think that it'll be more fun if we have bosses like this that are more stage hazards, advanced stage hazards with like a personality and some sort of a presence rather than, you know, that you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. I'm gonna put you on the TV at the Chinese place I work at. That'd be awesome. Yeah, do that. There's a shield power up. Yeah, it's right now it's just a juice icon that's dark. But you see, it makes my brain bar turn blue, and then it'll prevent you from taking 1 point of damage. And that's mostly built for unreasonable, because you're going to be taking damage. Like, to do the cool skips in this level, it's mandated that you take damage, so I've got these instead to help mitigate that. And I'm probably going to put these into some of the earlier levels at select points, just to make certain parts feel a little bit more forgiving. I'll need one up here, and then you bounce on over. Slam on down. Oh, I ran out of health. I forgot to put more shields in. But it's pretty fun, though. I like how this is coming together. I think this is going to be pretty dang fun level. Okay. Let's go ahead and build these two up one more. I feel like they're not wide enough. How do I get over there? Yeah, I think that looks perfect. That looks perfect. Let's go 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Go, and then we're going to do the same for the other side. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. By the way, yeah, these are trains. They're just up vertically for some reason. Don't ask why. I've got a cool idea I want to do with these. On top of just like having it be a thing that goes upwards. I've got a cool other section planned. Definitely, I'm getting a lot more ambitious with a lot of my my level concepts, in case you haven't noticed. Let's see, make sure this is spaced out about right. Okay, so we're gonna have these three bounce you back and forth up this chain, and then you go whoop, boom, 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 and you die because I haven't put the shields in. So let's go ahead and do that now. Just put them right in front of each. Might even scale these up a little later just to make sure they're really hard to miss. Okay, and you should already have a shield going into this one, so we don't need a power up there. So you go on here, get your power up. You can skip this by just jumping up there. Shield in, missing the shield there. Okay, it's a little janky, definitely a little janky. You're gonna have to refine that a bit. But here's what I'm thinking. How about actually we get rid of this second train car here? I think I've got a better idea. If I pulled up to a Chinese place and Void Collector was on the screen, I would try to wake up from the Twilight Zone dream I'm chill having. No, like, the reasons why there's... Oh! No, there's just one, because, I mean, there's probably going to be more on some of the other stages. But, I mean, the reason that there's one is generally, like, part of the idea is that there are, like, certain more powerful entities inside of the Void Collector, and the gist of how this thing works is that it will absorb stuff. So, for instance, like, it'll absorb a bunch of people, it'll absorb stuff. Like, the cells are like, different people that have gotten absorbed by it and turned into these weirdos. But the, like, particularly strong-willed or powerful people, those end up being some of the larger cells, some of the more impactful ones. Like the Conductor. The idea is, like, they kind of, like, retain more of their identity. Shit. I'm seeing proof. Holy shit. That's me! Why am I on there? That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's so odd. Conductor can do whatever the damn hell she wants with the trains this fall. Okay. Awfully rude. Okay, so what I'm thinking we're gonna do is you go up here, player lands on this train, and then we can have some sort of an arena on here, and then something else that is going to spiral up towards here, because I've got a very specific idea I want to do with this, and I think it'll be really, really cool. So we're going to start by hollowing out the entirety of this section, right? This train car. Yeah. And then we're going to open up a hole right here. Okay, then we're going to re-close that so we've got a nice little doorway. Is it too... Oh, I misaligned this as hell. Let's just get one extra on this side. No one's gonna notice. It'll be fine. There we go. There we are. Yeah. Oh, hold on. There we go. Now we're in business. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay, now you should be centered. Yep. Okay, so here's a bit about what I'm thinking. So, you boost your way up, you land on here, you fight some dudes, you have a little section that, like, spirals up towards the top of here. Maybe there's, like, a brain buster on top who's constantly, like, lasering you, and you gotta keep ducking behind stuff. Kind of like the Steve Strike Tower in 3 Buildings. And then we'll have another little section where you can, like, after you take care of them, you can fall straight through like a train, and there's gonna be stuff on either side, and then you land down here, and then you run out here. Maybe, like, there's a surfboard or another train you can use to launch yourself over here, and then you run up towards right here, where the conductor is, and they're gonna have our last last stand with a couple of extra enemies, and that'll be the level. Okay. Let's put it into practice. Well, it might be a little small, but I think generally people tend to like the smaller levels. Ones that are medium-ish sized, I think that tends to go over a little better. But we'll see. We'll give it a full playtest before I do anything too committal. I just have an inclination with some of the boss stages to give them a little bit more stuff to them, a little more largeness. Okay. Let's do a boardwalk. Yeah, let's do a boardwalk. These are all going to be boardwalks, by the way. Just so you're aware of what I'm doing. I'm curious if you can get back up here. Okay, yeah, we're good, Because the amount of speed you go into these with is what it returns you up back to the walks with. So if you fall off on the high spots, you'll still have enough speed to make it back up. It is capped, though, so like if you fall all the way from up here and you do a ground boost even, then, it doesn't take you all the way back up. You'll have to start steering yourself back on the course. Okay. So we're gonna keep adding on to this boardwalk here. Alright, let's get a 4x4 right here. Thinking we have some sort of a boost right here. We're gonna have this section right there. This sort of extends out like so. And then maybe you round this corner, you got the Brain Buster sitting right here, constantly keeping his eyes on you, lasering you down. And then you have like a train that could boost you up to a second level, and the second level wraps around here, another train boosts you up to the top. Something like that I think could be really fun. Give that a try, why don't we? Yeah. I think this will work quite nicely. And if you want to skip this, if you want to just get around, you can just probably jump around that, make that angle, make that jump. Which should be extra fun. We want to all about giving players lots of room for player expression and freedom into what they want to do. Whoop. That's too far. There we go. Okay. Let's give this little section a shot, see how that feels to go through. Let's grab just some extra trains. Gonna put one here. I'm thinking, by the way, I was thinking for these textures, they kind of have like sort of like a train crossing vibe to them, like maybe intercrossing strips of like yellow and black. Kind of like, like a train crossing sign. That sort of thing. Think it would suit the atmosphere pretty well. Okay, let's give those a 2000. Oh, even with one of those and an uppercut, you can't quite make it. Maybe if I do it like right at the apex of my jump. No, not quite. Okay, so you're gonna have to either burn 2 uppercuts or actually take both of those. We'll see how that feels, because I want players to be rewarded if they have the resources, so I feel like this would be a pretty major skip if they had the resources to burn to make that jump all the way up. But yeah, you go boom, and then jump around, boom. Nice. Nope, not nice. Give 2,500. Just give you a little bit of extra leniency. Oh. So you can cancel those out if you accidentally do that. I might have to make some trains that come back after a few seconds. It just occurred to me. Because if you mess one of these up, I imagine that would be really annoying having to, like, wait for it. I could also just have, like... Something I've been doing with this world is, like, you'll notice this big boardwalk through the center. This is not at all an optimal method, but if you miss the surfboards, if you miss any of the cool skips, you can still play the level, just at the downside that you're going to be much, much slower now that you're forced to take that slower route rather than getting the cool flasher options. So maybe something like that would be good here, just to have some backup slopes, some safety slopes, in case you fumble a little. Okay, let's go ahead and grab a Brain Buster. Maybe pull this in a little bit so he has a more clearly defined spot to stand on. And then we're going to grab Brain Buster. You know what, I think we're going to even make this a little bit easier on the player and put him on a more isolated, smaller platform, and this just means it'll be super easy to push him off with the shotgun blast. So once you've made it up here, it's like, ah, you son of a bitch. Oh. And he just lands right on there. Maybe we'll even clear this section out a little. Cut a hole in that. Whoop. See ya. Nice. Yeah, I think that'll be a fun like little moment for players being able to, if this guy's hounding them, they gotta work their way up while he's blasting them, then you get to take your revenge. And then you go down here, past some train cars, and then boom. Nice. Okay, this is coming together. Is the university we both attend feeling like a much different place now that I'm gone? Yeah, it's really... It's now that there's no bean art, it's like something's missing. All the light in the world's gone out. I appreciate you wanting to not dox me. But I realize that I have a portfolio available on LinkedIn, which says what university it is, so it's not exactly a secret, unfortunately. But as long as people don't know where I'm staying, it's probably fine. Okay. Let's go to the props. Yeah. Let's grab the train seats. So to really help sell the feeling of this train is indeed sideways, let's grab a train car, give it the proper rotation. Okay, train car, train seats. That should be a 0, and that should be a 90. Go. Then stick you into the wall there. And then slow the camera speed down so I can actually see what I'm doing here. This is a little disorienting to place. Okay. Let's drag these downwards. Yeah, looks good. Then drag these 3 across. I slightly misaligned that. Drag these 3 across. There we go. Now we're going to want to rotate all these. I'm a clean 180. Then drag them back up. Line them to the wall. Make sure it's aligned with the other one, which is it is now aligned. Yeah, just below that line. Okay, and then... Oh, why are you stuck in the wall? Okay, whatever, we don't need you. We're getting ready so that way we can actually go through the wall. That looks pretty good, I like that. Let's just grab a train seat... Train door. Train seat, train door. Bum bum bum. Drag it on over. Angle it like that. Then scale it around. That's the wrong one. Scale it up. Drag you down a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to expand it so it fills that gap. Yep, not seeing any holes in it. And then we go through. Doors open. Oh, that feels weird. Oh man, that is odd. Quite like that. That works very well. Woo! Okay, I think this level's pretty rad. Look at that. It looks almost normal. Okay, let's put this whole section into practice. Oh, before we do that, we're going to go to interactable level stuff, and then we're going to put a couple of shields down for these. A couple of helmets, as they will be, eventually. Go. I might even swap these out with the bouncers, the trampolines, the jebs from the previous world, maybe. Perhaps. We'll see. I might need to give you a little bit of freedom to walk places, potentially. Nah, I feel like you're probably better stationary. I'll just put them on the top. That's better. I like it. Thank you. I don't know what that was in response to, because my stream is hella delayed because my internet here is turbo ass. But I'm glad you like whatever it was I did. Hopefully it's this, because this shit is cool as hell. We need generic boring underwater world now, the slowest movement possible. Yeah, let's pull a Pac-Man World 2, where you've got, like, really fun movement, and it kind of ramps the difficulty up, but it's kind of really fun for a while, and then there's like, nah, underwater auto-scrolling levels for, like, 30 straight minutes. We should do that. That would make the game better. My uncle is named Seth, so I get uncle vibes from you. I don't know if I'm very uncle-y, but I don't know if that's a compliment. I don't know if I should be given off uncle vibes at age 21. I feel like I should be having a little bit more time before I start being uncle-ish. Okay, let's give this whole section a run through now that we've got all the power-ups properly in place. So, yada yada, you go through here, you fight all these guys. Woo! Land on here. Go down. Boost up, boost up, up. I keep not hitting the shields. Okay, so clearly these shields are gonna need to be a little bit better placed. Or just make them really big. We can just be lazy and make them huge. I don't actually. I'm joking. I don't know if this is actually like. This is probably just the best solution, honestly. Just making sure that there's no way to hit those without hitting the shields too. I imagine that'll just be a lot more fun to deal with. Okay, it feels a little uneven, so I think it's gonna need a bit more tweaking. And shield here. Boom. Slam on down. Boost on through. Okay. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like how that's coming together. So I think we can safely say we've used the train quite a bit. I don't even know if I'm done using it yet. I don't want to maybe even have it as a bit more of a prevalent obstacle, like something that's you have to actively avoid in places. Like maybe have some extra ones here, here and there, just to make it a little bit more imposing. I was about to play Pac-Man World Repack 2. It's pretty fun. It's very basic, but it's good. I like it. We should play the Pac-Man sequels, Legendary. I don't know if that's legendary, but I've played my fair share of video games in my day. Also, I did notice the chat. Yeah, we're gonna need to put a shield right here. Why did I get hit there? What? I'm getting hit through the shield. Wait, why did you launch immediately? What happened there? What if I die? There's some jank going on around these parts. There's some bugginess in these woods. Let's launch the board, and then die, and see what happens. Yeah, it just launched immediately for some reason. Oh boy. There's gonna be some jank and some bug fixing we're gonna have to do later. Okay, this is feeling pretty good. I like the direction that this is taken. So, let's put one last surfboard right here. Let's grab the cube grid, cut out a chunk here, just give it a little bit more space. I feel like it might be a bit better if you didn't have to stop to land on the surfboard. Might be a bad thing, this isn't worth the hassle. I don't know. If anything to help make it feel a bit more smooth. Like, I think I'll probably just adjust this so that you more naturally, smoothly land on the surfboard. But I'm just trying to get the base layout for now. But I definitely think it's worth it, too. To make it feel refined and smooth and fun. Okay. Let's see where this takes us. That's wrong. Nothing important. Just some school stuff I can take care of later. Okay, to give you decently high bounce, so you'll slam on down, surfboard, and then probably bail. Ooh, idea. Interesting concept, cooking on my brainium. It's gonna make this a... How wide did I make these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10? 10 works. Gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Yeah, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to extend out by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're just gonna extend upwards and extend downwards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17. There we go. So what I'm thinking we're gonna do here is, let's grab a train. One last interesting new use of the train. Let's just make sure that this is... Yeah, that's the correct angle. That's what we're looking for. There we go. The gravitational pull of Pepsi. That's a Seth Newland. I was gonna say a deep cut, but I mean not really. It's just on the channel, like 10 videos back. Yeah, that was in my phase when I was trying to make YouTube videos that weren't, you know, the devlog stuff. So you bounce off the board. Uh-oh. Okay. You know, I probably should have tested some of that first. Let's 2. And then 1, 2. Let's see if that works. Okay, so the idea is that if you miss, you land on the platform and you have to walk up. Whoa. Okay, maybe we'll see about this idea. Actually, the momentum feels a little funky. Yeah. Yeah, that seems kind of unnecessary. Yeah, I don't know if I actually need this. I think if I have this here, players might be encouraged to do something that's kind of annoying and janky. So let's get rid of that. The idea was that you jump off and then hit it, and then it would push you off into the wall. But it's probably just easier to just jump off it, land here. I think that'll feel a bit more natural. Dr. Pepper clears. I'm not really super opinionated on sodas these days. I've kind of stopped drinking them for the most part, other than occasionally, you know, I get one occasionally when I'm eating out or something. But I try to stay sodaless. Although I'm a Sprite fan. I'm a Sprite defender. Sometimes you get ones that are kind of watery. Depends on the place you're getting it at. But I don't know. I think Sprites are nice. I'm not the biggest fan of colas in general. But I'm not a sodaologist. Just generally, I think when it comes to food in general, I'm probably not the most. I'm probably legally mandated to not give food takes because of my taste is so ass. But I will give them regardless. Okay, so if you miss the jump, then you'll still land down here, and you'll get a slope to run up. So you're not, you know, completely screwed. But you will have to feel like a bit of an idiot for whipping the jump. Because you have to take this really long slope. And down here. Wrap your way up and around, and then the boss is sitting there looking at you, and you've claimed the right to win. I always try to, but also try to, but the doctor gets me sometimes. No, I get it. I'll blatantly admit that it doesn't taste good, but for some reason, like every once in a while, a Mountain Dew just hits the right spot for me. It's like, and again, it's not good, but sometimes it just hits that specific little weird worm in my brain. You know? There they are. It's so weird. I'm really gonna have to make sure that that can't happen in the level. Either that or update the way that the enemy's collision works a little bit closer to my collision, so that way they don't get, you know, shoved into walls. Because whenever that happens to me, I don't get shoved into walls. I'm good. Okay. Let's, this is definitely not done yet at all, but let's give it a bit of a quick tester run through to see how everything feels when it's all put together. Okay. There we go. So you start out here, going up, see the train conductor. Probably start looking away so that way you can spawn them in other locations. That, you son of a bitch, the second I looked back. I might put a shield on that Gunther, a Sheila on that Gunther. Just to give him a little bit more, more threat. Okay, clear this guy out. Forgot to put a shield there. I might just, okay, you know, I'm starting to think that maybe I should just, like, I'll keep the shields, but maybe I should also just, like, maybe I could just have trains that don't hurt you. Like, maybe I should just do that instead. It feels like a much easier solution that's going to be infinitely more consistent. I don't know why I'm not doing that. Die. Die. Oh, I heard to put slopes up. Run it back. Run it back. So I do think maybe the conductor's having a bit of a hard time seeing me. And they're not really spawning stuff. Like, they spawn something there. But their programming is definitely going to need a little bit of... They're struggling a little at the moment. Probably should take care of those guys first instead of... Yeah, because then you're definitely going to get your brain exploded if you don't kill him first. Okay. Ah, shit, I mistimed it. No! Okay, I love when that happens. That's awesome. Okay, so we round the corner, deal with this fella, knock you off. Get a nice delayed juice regain. Get another boost. I'll need to add some platforms here so you can actually reach this. Forgot to do that. Then keep boosting up. Okay. Sometimes I'm just getting hit by those. I'm really confused about what's going wrong with... Okay, yeah, see, now this is the thing. For some reason, the surfboards are just automatically launching themselves no matter what. For some reason. Like, whenever I launch one and then die, it'll just keep doing it. I think... Oh, okay, another bug it shows with this thing is that if they see me, what they'll do is they'll wait a few seconds and then spawn it, regardless of if they can actually currently see me or not. So that's something else I'm going to need to fix, is to make sure that once you're out of their sightline, they won't continue to, like, if you're out of their sightline, they can't place one no matter what. That's something I'm going to need to tweak and fix. Okay, so we pick up our shield. Jump up. Up. Jump up. I think maybe if there's like a slight delay between getting it, then you have some janky interactions. I think that's probably what's going on there. Probably just hit him and not have to worry about doing any of that. Hit the surfboard, launch the surfboard. Cool. Okay, not bad, not bad. I think that works out pretty decently. Are we gonna get the janky thing where it says, yeah, okay. Attempting access index array index 10 from array. Okay, so there's just an array where I didn't make it long enough, so it's trying to save data to a place that doesn't exist. Whoops. What's the train conductor's name? The conductor. Sprite's like my 5th grade soda pick. I've since moved on. Fuck you, buddy. Train kind of looks like a GameCube coming out of the wall. Yeah, kind of. I thought the train conductor was supposed to be one of the smart ones, not a numbnut. They're smartish. Might be an idea to remove the line of sight limit for the conductors, have it spawn trains anywhere. That's kind of what I've been thinking, is just give them a point where they can see you from anywhere, and then have a more obvious sound cue or visual cue that you're about to get spawned on. Something like that, and fix some of the other jank associated with it to make it a little bit better. Wouldn't this level be impossible and unreasonable? Nope. You got these things right here, which don't have an actual sprite yet, but they will shield you from 1 point of damage. Clearly, that sometimes, though, they just don't work. So I'm gonna have to figure out why not. But the idea is that you grab this, and then you shouldn't take damage. I'm just gonna simplify the process. I think I'll keep the shields, figure out why they're not working, but I'm also going to probably just make a different color of like train warning sign. So like maybe it'll be orange if it's dangerous, and then like blue if it's something that won't actually hurt you. Something like that, maybe. That'll probably just feel a little bit more natural to platform around. I imagine that'll be more fun. So yeah, I think I'll just do that. That seems like it'll probably work out a lot easier. For now though, we've got these set up. So if we look at my system for taking damage, take damage. There we go. So if shielded is true, then shield down, and then this happens. So if you're shielded, and you'll know that we're shielded because we've got the blue. The issue is that we're getting hit, and yeah, we're simultaneously getting hit, losing the shield, and then getting hit again. That's what I speculate is happening. Let's print string here and say shield down. And we'll just use that just to make sure that that's functional. So this hits us. We take damage as intended. Let's go over to here just so we can test it more consistently with the shield power up. Yeah, so for some reason there we're getting hit. We're getting hit. Let's say hit right there. So we'll get an output. So I'm assuming what's gonna happen is that it's gonna say both shield down and hit. Give that a try. Yeah, it's hit and shield down. So the problem is that we're somehow taking damage. Okay. My best guess is that it's an issue with the trains hitting us multiple times. Don't worry about this. This is a mess that I forgot to organize. So this will be the... Yeah, this will be this where it applies damage. So yeah, if the thing that it hits is the first-person character, then we take damage. And then there should be a second delay. So I think what's happening is that this part is just triggering multiple times. Let's get a new boolean going called damage once. And then after train hit, we will set damage once to true. Okay, and then starting this off, we will have the default value of that be false, and then we'll have a branch. And if train hit, or if damage once is false, then it will run all that sequence. Whereas if it is true, this won't happen. So it'll hit us once, and then make sure that it sets itself so that it won't be able to hurt us again. There we go. There we go. But wait, I just realized something. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have these naturally spawning trains. I mentioned this before, actually. I'm just gonna have to have these come back after a few seconds. Because, yeah, because when you die, these are gonna go away. And also whenever you, if you mess up a jump and you wanna try it again, then it'll have to come back. Yeah. This might still need a little bit of work. Okay, let's see if that seems to fix the consistency issues. I imagine it should. Got here, sorry I'm late. No problem. Thanks for joining, Dr. Abnormal. Probably for the best. Different trains feels more built-in rather than a bandage solution on paper. It is almost like the idea of having the shield in front of every single one kind of feels like Mario Maker-y, you know? Is all the coding done in this box style for Unreal? Is that a separate program? It's Unreal, yeah. This is just their inset like blueprint coding. Let's stick around Unity had to code separately. I think they've got it more integrated. But I'm assuming it probably used like visual whatever something. I don't know. Favorite video game OST? That is a really hard question. That's a really difficult question. I'd have to think on that. Like, favorite? So there's like some... That is tough. That is very tough. Because, like, there's... Castlevania's got a lot of great ones. Street Fighter's got a lot of great ones. That's what we're hearing right now. No More Heroes 3 is probably a strong contender for me for one of my all-time favorites. I think if there's any indie games that have, like, a truly phenomenal score. There's a lot of really, really good ones, but I'm not sure if there's any I'm thinking of that's, like... It's like an absolute favorite of mine. I'd have to think on that for sure. I think I'll give those a little bit extra boost height. That section feels a little bit inconsistent. This one I think I'll also give a little bit of extra height to smoothen out the consistency. Blomp. Okay. I think this is in a pretty decent spot right now. Let's go ahead and get onto refining. Refining, retweaking, reworking. Getting this in a slightly more polished state. I'm about to judge the shit out of this pick. I'm out of my depth on all the games. You just mentioned Carry On. I win. But that's a good question. Like, what's the absolute best one? Cuphead's really good. Yeah, Cuphead's really good. F-Zero GX is a really good one, and F-Zero X, both those are very good picks. I don't know if I have them in timers, though. It's kind of a tough question. Anyways, sorry, getting distracted. Back to it. So, this section needs a little bit of a safety net, methinks. So, for one, thinking we add another boardwalk right there, connecting this to this, so you can either skip straight to it, or not if you can't. You're, bad at the game. Sorry, that was rude. Let's extend you out by one here. We can put another boardwalk like so. Yeah, so you can either boost on over this, or not. Then we'll have a boardwalk right here. And then have a... what's the best way to get the player up? I guess we could just have, like, another train. Like a sequence of trains or something. Something to give the player a backup option in case they miss... In case they miss this. Because I don't want the player to have to end up resetting the level if they miss this. I mean, there are going to be checkpoints. That is something I've added, so... Maybe Outer Wilds Tropical Freeze. Tropical Freeze is a good pick, but Outer Wilds has, like, one song. It's a good song, but... I know it has more than one song, but it kind of feels like it has one song. Whoop. Got befuddled there for... Oh yeah, Brainbuster. Ow! You son of a bitch. Oh, hit him. Hit him for the love. Okay. Alright, nice one. Me. Okay, think I figured out how I want to do this, actually. Let's just have it wrap around something like this. Nope, not bad. This is way too steep, isn't it? Yeah, it's way too steep. So steep. What the hell? Yeah, there's definitely gonna be better way to build that up than what I was trying to do there. Maybe I could just have, like, I don't know. This is a tricky little obstacle I've made for myself. Okay, let's start by putting some extra hazards up on here. Thinking maybe we have the chance to do something pretty interesting with these guys. Let's say right here we've got a bat. Up here we've got a ball. And then over here we've got a ball. Pretty interesting, I would say. Pretty peculiar. Or, better yet, hold on. My brain is expanding. We extract this in a little. Whoop, that's not right. Put a bat right here. Yeah. And then we can put the ball guys in a couple of spots. Put a couple interesting locations. You know, something like that. Alright, let's link them up. Set your primary partner to you. You know, I just realized something I haven't tried. What happens if I do that? Oh, he whiffed! No! Okay, I think they just don't hit the other guys. I don't think I've coded that in. Alright. Okay, let's give that a whirl. See how that feels. Whoop. With my shotgun blast. Oh, Beanard, if you're still here, did you ever get around to trying the demo? I'm curious about what you thought of it. Definitely has its fair share of issues, and I've got a lot of things I want to fix, but I want to hear more opinions on it, more specific opinions. Because I think I'm pretty happy with it, but there's also a lot of stuff that I know I want to rework and nudge to a better spot. Okay, I think we can go ahead and start working on some slightly greater enemy variety for this level. I've got a interesting concept. I don't know if this is gonna work out, but what if we put a Slapmo right here? What happens? Oh shit! Oh no! No! That might be really obnoxious. I don't know if I want to do that. Conceptually, it's pretty funny. Oh, sorry, buddy. See you. Yeah, that might be a little janky and inconsistent. I don't know if I really want to. I don't know if I want to follow through on that. That could be pretty obnoxious. Bam. It's kind of working consistent. Okay, well, it's not working consistently as you, pal. Kind of hitting my surfboards here. I mean, that feels pretty fun when it works, but I'm a little concerned about what it's gonna be like when it doesn't work, you know? Seems like it'd be kind of obnoxious. Yeah, this part doesn't really work that well. That's gonna need some fine tuning for sure. Either on how the trains themselves work, or probably just that. Oh, it's still doing this shit, man. So there's an issue with the launch character? What's an issue with the launch character? what we're gonna do is grab an is valid from you, and if it is valid, then line. That should fix it. The bet and the bomb logic is really kind of complicated because if one of them dies, it takes them out of existence, and you get some really like kind of obnoxious stuff. I did try the demo, fair shot, maybe not. Kind of got frustrated with controls and gave up. I mean, switching between the guns and stuff. It seemed like that was a fairly common problem. Was that people couldn't really get used to the controls. You son of a bitch. I've been working on some stuff to address it, because I think that the controls are really, really fun once you can adjust to them, but there's undoubtedly a pretty massive, like, wall, a pretty big hurdle that there is to get through to that point. So I'm trying to think of either making the levels a little bit more forgiving to let you test out the controls. Well, not maybe, it's a combination of things, but yeah, making a lot of things a bit more intuitive. And I also want to add a... I don't know if I've talked about this too much here yet, but right now this is the scroll wheel. So weapons are now bound to the scroll wheel. This is something that isn't going to be on by default, but I will have a simplified control mode that you can enable, just because I know there's a lot of people, especially with like accessibility or just not really enjoying the controls, is kind of a common issue. And there's also just as many people I've found, well, probably not just as many, but a decent number of people who have found a lot of fun in the control scheme. So I don't want to just, outright get rid of it. But yeah, I'm trying to hit that happy medium. Hit this guy. Can you hit this guy for me? Not me. Okay, hit this guy. You hit him, not me. Yeah, but like I said, I'm trying to consider more things that would help multiple levels of play, both help to get past the initial learning curve and ease players into the controls a little bit more effectively. Because, like I said, I think that there's a lot of value to the controls once you properly really learn them. But that learning point is unsurprisingly pretty steep, and a lot of people don't really want to put up with it. So I'm trying to figure out how to improve that. Remember wishing there was a way to switch between weapons by just using scroll wheel, but it does kind of take away from the novelty. Might be a grit issue on my part. I don't know if it's a grit issue if a lot of people had it. And you've played a lot of games, so I don't want to just, I want to get that happy medium, right? I want to make it fun for people who stick it out with the extra controls, and I also want to make it fun for people who don't. And some people just won't jive with the controls, and that's fine. So right now we've got the weapon wheel, the scroll wheel, and then I'm working on a weapon. So you'll be able to like hold, I don't know, T or whatever button you want to bind it to, and you can pull up the weapon wheel and freely switch between all the different weapons. That's something else I want to add. Okay, let's give this one more little test run. I think it still needs a little bit more extra sauce to it. Definitely not quite done. You're gonna need some tweaking before you're ready to ship. But yeah, we'll put this together. But it's a really complicated question to answer. Like, what's the... Okay, you're annoying. Do I have you set to not have collision when you're dead? I feel like you still have collision when you shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't put a slap mode here. Maybe I should just consider anybody but a slap mode. Like a Gunther. Gunther would be good. Gunther's a good pick for this. I think he fits pretty well here. But I'm curious if upon death, let's get die. Collision is set to no collision, so he shouldn't be stopping me, but he is. So maybe there's another part of his model that has collision. Like, do you have collision? You do have collision. Okay, everything else shouldn't have collision, right? What else is collision? No, everything else is either a trigger or doesn't have any collision of it. Okay, let's see how this feels. That's pretty fun. I think that works out quite nicely. I think the best way to ease players in the weapon switching system would be to have a series of easier levels that get them used to the controls with a low risk. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. That's a big part of why I'm gonna be pretty largely revamping the first world. The first level is gonna be pretty similar to how it is now, except it's gonna incorporate every single enemy instead of just like a random selection. Like that one is not really consistent in what levels you do and don't fight. And there's just a lot of Gunthers. So that stage is going to be more consistent, make you fight every single enemy, and in a more isolated environment. I've also got much better tutorial levels. They're just way more effective, I find. Played Doom 2016 in Neon White, and that's about as far as single-player shooters go. Okay, so that is certainly... You might still have some difficulty even if there wasn't the control stuff. I think they're cool, but learning curve too steep for me. I played a ton of games like... Okay, gotcha. Gotta go be equipped in the train level, nice work. Okay, well thanks for stopping in, Beanart. Nice chatting with you. I'm gonna tell the enemies to stay down. Thank you. What did I say? Sorry, it's completely spaced out for a second. I'm losing it. Okay. Let's give this just one last little clean run through. But that has been a really interesting... There's an interesting question to be asked of, like, how far am I willing to go for, like, ease of access, for playability and approachableness for certain players, especially if it comes to the cost of the game's systems and the uniqueness of its mechanics and the fun of its mechanics. So there's a reason a lot of my focus has been on really trying to improve upon these mechanics, make levels that are more unique and fun and straightforward and a little bit more forgiving. Not a little more forgiving, actually a lot more forgiving. Stuff like checkpoints, stuff like the new death plane, how that works. Things like the new control just stopping you dead in your tracks, feeling a little bit more consistent. All sorts of things. Go down. Wait. You not dead? Where is that surfboard going? Oh, I didn't stop it! Oh. Who's alive? Oh, he did land on that. Oh, you son of a gun. You... Come back down? Oh, relaunch glitch. Okay. Yeah, you can see that this has a lot of potential for nonsense. Okay, stop boosting yourself. Why am I not getting juice back? Why is my juice not coming back? Man, there's a lot of bugs going on right now. What the heck happened? I'm gonna have to sort a lot of this stuff out. Oh no, it's coming. Wait. The meter keeps filling up and then stopping. And it says hello and then fills up. And then it says hello and then fills up. Okay. Weird. Okay, I'm feeling a little tired. That was a good stream, very productive. We got the layout of this stage all good together. So, that's pretty nice. I like where that's at. Yeah, next time I think I'm gonna probably be working on refining this. But we're in a really good spot. I'm hoping to have a Patreon build available, not at the end of this week, at the end of next week. And I think that this is a pretty good sign that we're on track to hit that. So yeah, I think that'll do it for today. Thank you everybody who decided to stop in. Appreciate it as always. And hope to see you guys next